from living and breathing. So I want you to know that you're participating in a very, very powerful experiment. And I believe that experiment is that which is going to move the human race to an entirely different dimension, electronically, alchemically, if you want to call it that, or alchemical physically, as you want to call it that. But I really believe it's happening. I think some of my sensitives would totally agree with me that they see the energy around them changing, not just in their immediate house, which may be on the machine, but also as they walk around their cities and towns and whatever. So I think that this is causing a major switch. And if I told you the type of power that's on some of these machines, I'm sure you would agree with me.
Yeah, I'm sure I would.
Kevin?
But listen, Bill and Kevin, you guys, I've got to run, but I've really enjoyed the conversation, and I'll be in touch with you guys soon.
It's a pleasure, Dean.
Okay, thank you, Bill. Thank you, Kevin.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Any other questions?
Not
hey, Bill. Go ahead.
Is that you, Dennis?
No, Bill, this is Lee Moore.
Oh, Lee, okay, that's fine. I didn't get enough of your verbiage to catch your accent, but now I know who you are.
Sorry. I need to ask you one question.
Sure.
You were doing the energizing water and the relaxing water all in the same half hour. Are you still doing that?
No, ma'am. Can't do it anymore. What was happening is people were leaving those things on there, and the last thing I put on is what they had for the rest of their life.
Right. That was what was happening to me, so that was why I was asking.
You were getting the downer. You were getting the sleeping potion, and that was great until you got up in the morning and took a great big glug and wanted to go back to sleep again.
Yeah.
I talked to Kevin about it, and we decided to only put one frequency on there unless there was something that was a special thing which we could pick out a time or something like that, and we could do it. Kevin's working out the specifics on that. So, Lee, from now on, it's going to be the buzz water.
Okay. Well, I was getting up about 10 or 15 after 12 and removing the water, so that was why I was asking.
Yeah, well, you don't have to do it anymore. And how have you been since you've been jazzing up properly? You doing all right?
Very well.
Real good. And I assume hubby's doing pretty good on that, too?
Yeah, actually, he's doing much better, I guess, because I've changed. He seems to be.
Well, I think maybe you both changed, haven't you?
Yes, sir.
That's the way it usually works. So, but thank you very much for the input, Lee. And your input was one of the reasons I quit that. To tell you the truth.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I had all kinds of intentions, and then I realized I was just all they were getting because you're not going to hang around, especially on the East Coast, and do all this kind of stuff. At least a lot of it. So they just got the last frequency I put in because it just kept changing it from one or the other until they get the last one. So we're going to figure our way out of this dilemma. I just haven't quite figured out how to do it yet. But what most people want is the energizing water. And by the way, you guys that are on the water, make sure that you muscle test and make sure that you're up to the top and 100% saturated. If you're down around 60%, this ain't going to work too good. So you got to make sure that you're well saturated every day, whatever it takes to do that. A couple of glasses in the morning, a couple of glasses in the afternoon, a glass in the morning, a glass in the afternoon. In my case, a cup in the morning, a cup in the afternoon. So whatever it is that jangles your chain, go ahead and do that and make sure that you're saturated. I don't think the water's going to hurt you, so just go ahead and have your extra water if you need it. I have one person that drinks a gallon a day. And I said, well, how do you feel about that? And she says, well, it's fine up here on the ceiling. So whatever you like. I don't care what, if she wants to jump around the ceiling, that's fine with me, and she just loves to do it. Every time I talk to her, she's just happy as a clam, bouncing all over the place.
Oh, goodness.
So, does that answer your question?
Yes,
Lee?
sir.
Okay.
I just want to clarify one thing about the water program. You're not going to get the signal unless Bill has your name. So
that is true.
Writing your name on a piece of paper is fine, but I mean, if you haven't paid for the program and you've been trying to do this and it's not working, then that's the reason why. Now, tonight we'll do it for everyone who's on the call. We have no problem with that. We're still trying to figure out a system where people understand it, so I still hear some confusion in people's voices about this stuff. So just email me the names if you want to try the water thing tonight, and we'll put you on, and you'll experience it if you haven't done it, or if you have before, it doesn't matter, to get you used to this process. It's another intangible exercise that we have to kind of figure out what we're doing. So, charge enough, have a gallon, whatever, and put your name on a paper, and Bill will send the signal 12 o'clock Eastern Time, 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock. No, it's 1 o'clock Eastern Time and 10 o'clock Pacific.
And while you're in bed, without any effort on your part, you'll be nuking your water. Now, please understand that this is not the same water that's produced by the label. The label is a pure energizing water. It's got all kinds of components, but it doesn't have the components that are on this water. This water has things that are connected only with the physical plane. For instance, digestive enzymes, homeopathic remedies that I think are appropriate in doses that are adjustable to each person, oxygen consumption, a certain amount of sensuality energy. In other words, you're more sensitive to people and things, and etc. There are a lot of components that are in this stuff that are not in the label energy, and vice versa. There are a lot of things in the label energy that are not in this, and some people take them and blend them back and forth to get what they want at any one particular time. So just understand that. You're not going to get it through the label. On the other hand, you're not going to get the label stuff through this. They're two entirely different things. One is a physical plane, and the other one is etheric plane.
So when you're doing the water, when you're doing the water, you don't want to put the label under your name, because then you're getting the
you're going to screw up the water.
Right. You're going
to screw up the water and mess up the signal, and you're not going to get what you want.
Right. So those are two different actions.
Bill.
Yes, sir.
If you got a label stuck on the side of your jar,
you don't want to use that jar.
You don't want to use it. Okay.
No, sir. You got to get yourself a piece of paper and stick it under a gallon of water and laminate it or something. Just leave it there and just drop the water on top of it. Don't put any label on it, because all you're going to do is end up getting label action. Because the label is a lot stronger than the signal I'm sending out for the water. A lot stronger. It'll blow it right away. So it doesn't seem like it when you're drinking it, but the signal coming off that symbol is really strong. So you want to not do that.
Yeah, I got another gallon jug, so I'll use it.
Yeah, just all you got to do is just, and I would also lay off of refrigerating it, because what's going to happen is you're going to slow down the agitation of the molecules caused by the process, and you're not going to get the full benefit of it. That's the same way. I'm not saying you're not going to get a benefit. I mean, you could probably put it on hot coffee and get some action. The best thing to do is just to work with something that's room temperature, and then you want to go get your coffee or something, just go do that. And so, by the way, since I brought that up indirectly, this enhances. So Kevin was having a beer last night. He called me and said, "Hey, this works pretty good on the beer, Bill." And I said, "Okay, I didn't know that. That's great." It does tend to change and enhance the flavor of liquids. I will tell you that. I've never drunk a liquid that it did not affect. And I'm talking about Cokes. I'm not a beer drinker, but I'm taking Kevin's word for it. It definitely affects the ability to taste the flavor quality of the liquid, just like it affects perfume. If you take perfume and put it on that label, it's like it goes right into your brain. It changes the whole smell of the perfume, the whole effect of it. One of these days, I'm going to have a line of perfume and blow everything off the market. I'm going to take a knockoff Chanel No. 5 and make it look like twice any kind of Chanel No. 5, because I know I can do it. I've already done it. I've nose tested it with about 3 or 4 women, and they tell me they're not people who are just going to tell me that. And they've told me that it definitely has an effect on perfume. That's the label now. That's the label. So it atomizes it. It causes it to increase its surface tension, reduce its surface tension, and makes the molecule highly excited, which somehow, I believe, blows it through the blood-brain barrier, because you can feel it right in the center of your head on these really exquisite perfumes.
Then that would be a really good idea for the aromatherapy industry, huh?
Last time I checked, because it does it with essential oils too.
Yeah, because
yes,
I do
ma'am.
that.
And if you want to try it, you just see if I'm not right. I'd love to have your report, by the way, Lee.
Okay, I will.
Positive or negative, but I don't think it's going to be negative.
Probably not.
Well, the reason I'm telling you that is I've worked on about 6 or 7 essential oils, and it's always the same thing.